Today I have two questions for you. What did two university students have in common? And what happened to these two beautiful young women that was so similar you will swear I'm talking about one case instead of two different tragedies? Hi, welcome to Wolfness Investigations, and let's look into the cases of Phyllis Chepleteng and Victoria Muthoni Yuri. Because these are ongoing cases, there's not a lot of information about them, but I'll try my level best to tell you what happened with what was available. So kindly bear with me as we go through the cases together. So who was Phyllis? Phyllis was a 19-year-old first-year student at Karkhut University pursuing math and biology when all this happened. But just like most cases in Kenya, I could not find a lot about Phyllis' background, which was quite frustrating to be honest, because I wanted to share her story with you. But I digress. After a long semester, schools were finally closing and students were preparing for their December holiday. It was no different for Phyllis as her parents sent her 2,600 Kenya shillings as her bus fare to travel home and celebrate Christmas with them. Phyllis and a close friend decided to travel together, so they took a bus, but according to the close friend, Phyllis alighted at Nakuru, telling the friend that she was going to visit one of her relatives. But this was not true because she was visiting her boyfriend like she normally did before going home. December 26, 2022 was the last day anyone saw Phyllis alive, and 5 days later her body would be discovered. Neighbors at Naka Estate called the caretaker because something was not right at Ezra's house. There was a foul smell and they had not seen him for a couple of days, so it did not make sense for the house to smell like that. The caretaker called the police, who came with welders and broke the door down. What they saw on that day will forever be engraved in their brains. They found a body lying face down on the bed, oozing from the mouth, nose, and ears. This made it hard for them to identify who it was. But after searching the house, they found an ID and they were able to identify that this was Phyllis Chepleteng lying on the bed. Her body was taken to Nakuru Level 5 mortuary where Dr. Titus, and I hope I'm saying his name right, Ngulungu, a government pathologist, conducted an autopsy which revealed that Phyllis died from asphyxiation caused by manual neck compression. They also took vaginal swabs for further analysis to establish if she had been acid before her death, but the results were not released. So like you would expect, the police wanted to know who was renting the house and where he was. And after some digging, they came to find that it was Ezra Kipkemoi, a security guard at Nakuru and Phyllis' boyfriend, who automatically became the prime suspect. But by the time they found the body, he had already slipped away and switched off his phone. So they had to conduct a manhunt. He was later arrested at Kibwareng Hospital on January 5th, 2023, where he was receiving treatment. Ezra was detained for 14 days as they continued with the investigation. Later, on January 19, 2023, he was taken to court where he pleaded guilty before Justice Teresa Matheka, who noted that a psychiatric test was done on Ezra which indicated that he was experiencing depression and ordered that he be taken through counseling while in prison. But like I said, it is an ongoing case, so we have to wait and see what will happen next. Now let's look at the second case, and later I will tell you the similarities between them. A student at Kenyatta University, Victoria was a bright student taking public policy and administration when she went missing. Victoria came from Kiambu County in an area called Kahawa West, where she lived with her parents while attending Kenyatta University. The last time her family saw her alive was on Christmas Day, when Victoria told them that she was going to her sister's to celebrate Christmas with her. But when she failed to return home, her parents tried to call her, but her phone was switched off. So they called a sister who told them that she had not seen Muthoni. This made them worry, so they decided to report the issue to the police. After missing for 4 days, on 29th December 2022, Victoria's body was discovered at her boyfriend's place by the police. This was after Alvo's residents complained to the caretaker that an awful smell was coming from one of their neighbors' house. The police and welders broke down the door and found Victoria's body in the sitting room, but weird enough, there were no visible injuries. The body was taken to the mortuary and investigations commenced. The police said that Victoria was in a habit of spending time at her boyfriend's. This was at Alvo's apartment. And the prime suspect for Victoria's murder was her boyfriend, but I could not find his name or anything about him, so we are going to call him Mr. X. Mr. X was struck down by the police and arrested and taken to Ruiru Sub-County DCI headquarters, where he was interrogated. Mr. X told the police that he left Victoria alive and safe at his place on Christmas Day and traveled to his parents' house. But just like Phyllis, the case is ongoing, so hopefully there will be closure on the two cases. When I first saw these cases on an article, I thought it was one case until I went through the article and I noticed that it was two different cases about two different women in two different areas. So I decided to go back again and again to reconfirm, and it was true. These were two different cases, but so similar, it got me confused. So let's get into the similarities. So I'm going to state out the similarities on point form. Let's start with the dates. Both Phyllis and Victoria went missing during the December holiday. Both were found in their boyfriends' homes after neighbors complained about the smells coming from the houses. Both boyfriends are found in their rural homes by the police. Both women lied about who they were visiting before their disappearance, and both women were bright university students with bright futures ahead of them. These are the similarities I found interesting, but you can go ahead and point out the differences on the comments below. According to a research done by Kenya Demographic and Survey, over 40% of women have experienced physical and sexual intimate partner violence in their lifetime, and 42% of both men and women still believe that wife beating is acceptable in the society. But remember, relationship violence is not only experienced by women, men also suffer from it. So kindly, if you're in a violent relationship, there are organizations that can help you with that. I'm going to share their information on the description below. If you have made it this far, thank you for watching, and I send my condolences to the families of Phyllis Jepleteng and Victoria Modhoni Yuri, and may their beautiful souls rest in eternal peace.